Tibetan tea. Everybody drinking. You might get addicted to that. After Nyungne, everybody craving for that. Craving coming. Craving is the root of samsara. You know, in Theravadan tradition, I hear this a lot about Four Noble Truth. You know, Buddha's presentation of Four Noble Truth. You know, how the condition of samsara is. Suffering comes from craving. You know, it's from Mahayana, Vajrayana point of view, and from not Buddhist point of view, just the word craving alone is not very good, because it can have some negative connotation too. You know, just craving. Then what is craving? It's desire. Then the desire is good, people's. You know, things like that, right? But actually, it's not completely accurate. Craving is part of it. You know, it's come from all poisons, meaning 3 poison, 5 poison, and 84,000 poison. You know, it's coming from that, and all those poison create karma, and karma creates unnecessary pain and suffering. But if you drink Tibetan tea, you can say life is good. Definition of good life should be good Tibetan tea on the day of the breaking fast, and then good Nyungne practice. Then life is good. You can define life. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to say life is good, even though people who have abundant material things, you know, most of people, no matter how much they have, so unsatisfied with life, miserable, you know. And there's constantly more, if you use Theravadan language, constantly more craving. What happens is more you have, the more you want. Look at all these big guys, you know how they are, just constantly want more. Same thing with the power. The more power you have, the more you crave for more power, so on and so on. And then along the line, in getting those power and all those things, you ended up creating a lot of unfortunate karma, you know. The consequences of that is not good, you know. And then when you start to understand what's going on, you can say, oh, I committed sin and delusion. And actually it is. It is ignorant. It is stupidity, you know, and all those emotions, you know, ended up creating so much. Interesting. Mahasiddhas way is whenever any poisons arise in your mind, you know, desire, hatred, stupidity, jealousy, pride, you know, directly watch essence of it. Yeah. No need to reject, no need to grasp. Just watch. Yeah, like that. That's that you can say is the highest way of watching. Yeah. You know, there's a very nice quote from Suzuki Roshi, who is one of these Japanese Zen masters that Trungpa Rinpoche admired very much. You know, Trungpa Rinpoche had said that he was a tantric master, means he's a realized being, you know. Even though in Japan there were no tantra. He came from Japanese Zen tradition, so some authentic thing. And I heard Trungpa praise a lot, and he liked him very much, respected him very much, to a point where all Trungpa's Dharma centers, back then it was called Vajra Dhartu and Dharma Dhartus, Suzuki Roshi's photos were in the shrine. That's how much Trungpa Rinpoche loved and respected him, like that. And the Suzuki Roshi has one saying that I thought that was very beautifully said was, you know, he says, open the front door and the back door wide open, back and the front door, for the guests to come. Just don't serve him teas. I thought that was very beautiful. Meaning, thoughts come arise, just no need to reject, let it come. Open the back door, let it go. You just watch, don't serve him a tea. Don't entertain him, that's it. No accepting, no rejecting. That really is Mahasiddhas' way, Yeah. Yeah. And then when you open it like that, then it's called a thief entering into an empty home. Yeah. Negative emotions, poison emotions are like a thief, Analogy is like a thief. They enter in home, there's nothing to steal. you just go in, wander around, and then you got nothing. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. Simultaneous transformation. Yeah. Essence of thoughts. Everything. You know what actually really, really boils down to our mind, as far as identity and identifyingness is concerned, then grasping onto thoughts is where the mistake is happening. Thinking that your thought, that's you. Yeah. And then what to do. There's a continuity, and then you continually grasping on the continuity of the thought that arises in your own mind. Yeah. And then if you use Mahamudra terminology, then your thought, essence of thought is Dharma kaya. You need not to separate thought, poison and not poison. Essence of poison itself is emptiness. You see? Yeah. If you want to conceptualize and separate, then there's a separation between emotional thought, which is not pure, and then emptiness, nature, essence of that is, emptiness, like that. But generally, it's the same thing. Yeah, like that. For a yogi, there's no distinction, like that. Dharmakaya, essence of thought is Dharmakaya, meaning essence of thought is emptiness. You see, it's inseparable. It is what it is. Yeah, you entertain, you serve tea, you do all kinds of things. That's when you get trouble. You just let it be, nothing. Yeah. So key really is at the beginning stage is some kind of relaxation technique. You have to learn to relax, no matter what's going on. Actually, it's interesting. Even ordinary people know when somebody's so agitated, so, restless in their mind. Relax, 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 Interesting, you see? Even ordinary people, in some sense, knows, what these yogis and enlightened yogis and Mahasiddhas are talking about, kind of, So just relax, relax, That's actually, if you understood it very well, that just relax is very profound, the thing. Yeah. Remember just some time ago I told you that Machi Labdin very famously said, relax, relax and relax. Relax and watch. That's the terminology you have to remember. When you're so agitated, so frustrated, so restless, relax. Not just relax, but then just relax and vividly watch what's going on. Then you will figure out nothing is going on. It's all in your mind and thought, wrapped around. Yeah, like that. Interesting, huh? Thought. And then, as far as grasping is concerned, it's not just grasping onto your thought, but grasping onto the phenomena as well. So it's, yeah, yeah. It's a duality, grasping, whatever it arises, Grasping meaning somehow you believe that it inherently, intrinsically real. The phenomena outside of you truly exists, inherently exists. So solid, so real, and then based on that you interact. Yeah, that's the other problem. Yeah. So, in Buddhist scripture, you have terminologies like ego of self, and ego of phenomena. Ego meaning grasping, Actually, in this case, grasping. At the end, me, I grasp. This outside world is real, and you grasp. And that's why that's why the term is used like ego of self and ego of phenomena. Ego of self. In the final analysis, it comes down to your own thought, grasping onto the continuity of your own thought. You see, that's the thing. Yeah. Ego phenomena is the external world, which is illusion, It doesn't exist apart from your own experience. And you keep on thinking it's real, something outside truly, inherently, intrinsically exists. See? Yeah. This is a very important understanding, In one of Milarepa's teachings, the key is to understand whenever all meaning that you practice and so much going on and off, you will be disturbed and challenged and things like that, right? So Milarepa says how to handle that part of the problem is to see phenomena as really illusion. This is a key. That's why in our sixth doctrine, Naropa Nigumas and so on, we have this illusory body practices is mainly for that reason, to understand that correctly and so on. Yeah. And then, when you start to understand, then you have less grasping, then you start, nothing will bother you anymore, things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, if phenomena truly exists, then, whatever happening outside, if it bothers one person, it should bother everybody equally. That should be the rationale and logic. Yeah. If something bothers me, that same kind of activity should bother Buddha too. You see? It won't bother Buddha and enlightened beings. It's because there's no reality to it. That's why. Only bother you because you messed up yourself. Dharma practice really works, precious Dharma, you see. More you do, the better it gets, better and better and better and better. So amazing. I was fortunate myself, to see byproduct through Dharma, through my enlightened gurus and all these beings, and how incredible they are. These are the beings, really enlightened beings, with real wisdom, real compassion, like that. Amazing, huh? So we do it. We too can have that. You see? Yeah, we just have to do the right thing. That's it. Cause condition for wisdom, cause condition for real compassion. It's there. Then it will happen. Then we ourselves will be number one beneficiary. You don't need to think about it, but it's automatic beneficiary of yourself. And then you can benefit everybody else. See, that's how it really works. This Bodhisattva principle, how amazing it is, huh? Bodhisattva principle, all sentient beings. This is so important to understand. You just need to shift your thinking. Just me. Just change that. Just think about everybody else. Everything will change. You will start to become, your true wishes and aspirations start to happen after that, How amazing, huh? Just simple as that. Just you don't need to think about me, how me. No, just think you really sincerely wanted to think about everybody else, Cause, condition, wise. How amazing, huh? Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta, Bodhi, awakened heart, Sattva, the awakened, brave, heroic, awakened being, Bodhisattva. They really are really heroes, You know why? They're never daunted. So much courage, no matter how difficult it is to help sentient beings, how challenging it is to help them. Not daunted by all these things. They're like, I will do whatever it takes. That qualifies them as the brave one, heroic, Manjushri, and so on. The title, absolutely deserved. Dharma is so precious. When you understand this principle and cherish this principle, practice, and you will become more and more courageous and continually become courageous. I myself can tell you this. I'm today far more courageous in my spiritual, practice and teaching and leadership and everything that I've ever been. It's all byproduct of my practice, So become like this, Yeah. I like that. So cherish then Bodhisattva principle. Very soon you keep on practice like this, you will solve your issue of existence once and for all very soon. May take 1-2 more lifetime only. That's how close you are already, you see? For some of you, this will be your last struggling life in the world of samsara. That's it. You no longer have to struggle like this. If you ever be here, you can be here with choice as a bodhisattva activity. Come back, help, serve. You don't need to be here karmically stuck here. You believe me, right? Yes? Yes. John says, yeah, big one. John, you did quite a few 25 Nyungne. I say okay to that.
We mentioned that you do 1,000 new consecutive, right? You become kind of like a flying, you fly, like Mahamudra, And I have this picture, Mahasiddhas and Buddhism.
Mahasiddhas, Birwapa?
Buddhism.
Huh?
Buddhism.
How is that spelled? Cool?
Udhilipa.
You?
Udhilipa. The flying scissors.
Huh? Yeah.
There's writing on the back side.
Well, this Mahasiddha wear completely clothing of a leaf. You see this? Whole thing is leave, his. I cannot see.
You want me to read? It says, Buddhalipa, the flying Siddha, was a wealthy Indian who one day gazed from his palace window and saw strange five-colored cloud formations that were assuming the forms of animals. Mesmerized by this illusory display, he developed a desire to fly.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
You know what? This Mahasiddha name I don't remember. Could be one of the 84 Mahasiddhas. Then yeah, you can give it. You know, actually, yeah, if you practice Nyungne continually, purify all the karma, then you know it's real possible to become Mahasiddha just through Nyungne practice alone. And the example is history of Nyungne masters. Starting from Geloma Palmo, she became Nyungne practitioner. She struggled so much through, but she had enough courage to hold on. Because she didn't have a lot of choice, because her life was miserable. So only hope was Chenrezig and Nyungne. And then she could feel, and she practiced. And finally her karmas were purified. She had a vision of Chenrezig. And then all the blessings came through, and she became completely enlightened being, Mahasiddha. And then once you become by the way, definition of Mahasiddha is really mind over matter, complete control over all the elements. You can manipulate elements any way you want. That ordinary people so stuck in is no longer. You're master of that. Mahasiddha could perform miracles. Mahasiddha could levitate. Mahasiddha do anything. Milarepas could do it because of that. They have completely mastered the elements. You know. That's the definition of Mahasiddha. But if you're a sincere Nyungne practitioner, that should not be your goal. You don't think like, oh, I want to be Mahasiddha and I want to levitate. No, you just sincerely practice. I don't care. I don't care, you know. Actually, actual, real, correct motivation. I don't even care. I become enlightened. That's how your pure motivation should be. I just want to purely, sincerely practice. And the result is automatic. You see? Bodhicitta thinking is, I don't care about myself, I just want to do it for everybody. You're the number one beneficiary. Same way in the practice, you know. If you have a goal and you want to achieve something, that's grasping. See? So you have to let that go too. You know how practice works, you know, and how this works, how it benefits, and you sincerely believe in Chenrezig, sincerely believe in practice, and sincerely do practice. That's it. Then keep on doing, and you karmas and everything will be purified, and then qualities will automatically manifest. Like that, yeah. Another question.
He said, can you tell a story or talk about the courage of your guru, Rinpoche?
Yeah, my guru, definitely, I'm not praising it because he's my guru. My guru, definitely, very, very courageous Bodhisattva. You know, he was one of those most courageous beings, not kind of fearless, you know, of doing anything. So I personally see that as a quality of this so-called greater Bodhisattva quality. In our Buddhist teaching, such quality of fearlessness is attributed towards a Bodhisattvas who achieve at least 8 bhumi and so on, 8, 9, and 10th bhumi, like that, you know. Yeah, so courageous, not daunted by anything, no matter how difficult circumstance, situation is, how difficult students are, sentient beings are, never daunted with anything. It's like that, you know. You know, actually, I'll tell you, the truth, and that is when we were growing up in India, we had one of the most difficult time. Now I look back, very difficult monastery days. Hardly have enough food to eat. That's how hard it was life, and so on. And then everybody was so messed up psychologically because they lost their family members, friends, home, nothing, in a foreign country, nothing. And I look back, people had a, Dharma, part of, in monastery, many of the monks and nuns, whoever, part of it is definitely Dharma and Kalur Rinpoche, great enlightened master, part of it. Part of it is survival. Outside of monasteries, very difficult. Can you believe those days most Tibetans in India were begging. That's how life hard was. They have no place to, homeless and begging like that. So monastery life, part of it is Guru and Dharma. Part of it is survival. Just come to monastery. And everybody's so messed up their mind. And we had our time. We were a child, we were kids, and we cannot defend ourselves, when the adults were so that, we were, as a kid, very badly mentally scarred by all these experiences and so on. And then I look back, and my goodness, my Guru, really, I think this is one of his courageous Bodhisattva vow, to be in time when it's the hardest time. Let me be there to help and lead. I really believe this, And then I think wow, such a difficult situation, time. If my Guru wasn't there, where would we be? And he was there. It's a great being. And then I come to conclusion on my own by, through some analysis and thinking wow, my Guru must have made a vow to say when it's the most difficult time to help people, so I want to be there. That's why he was there at that time. I really believe this, Amazing. And he's still there and he's still put up with everybody's bullshit and he's still trying to help. The truth is, my Guru didn't need any one of us. We need him so badly. And then again, on and off, we'll act like as if, monks and students, others, as if they will act like as if, Guru owed them something, behavior-wise, and so many unreasonable things. So part of the courage is, no matter what it is, never daunted. It's still, still with so much compassion, still with so much, how do you say, Dharma teaching and guiding and helping and so amazing. So interesting. Even though it was a difficult time, my Gurus, 16 Karmapas, my Gurus, they were so incredible beings. They were alive that time, In our Kagyu side, 16 Karmapa, and my Guru, and then the other, those days, quite outstanding spiritual master, Kamtu Rinpoche. Some of you know, right? Kamtu Rinpoche. Guru of that nun, Tenzin Palmun. You remember that? Yeah. Kamtu Rinpoche was incredibly charismatic master, amazing being, so famous. Mahasiddhas Rinpoche and so on, of course, great beings, but they were very young then. Their activity hasn't flourished, they're still young. So. On Nyingma's side, the most famous were Dujum Rinpoche and Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, Chare Rinpoche, so they were so famous. They were quite amazing beings too, on their own rights. And those all beings so alive. Right now, on our Kagyu side, we still have 17 Karmapa. We have Mahasiddhas Rinpoche, we have Gyatso Rinpoche, Sanjay Nyimba Rinpoche, Mingyur Rinpoche, and so on. Kagyu Master doing quite well currently, Even like Garchen Rinpoche, see, like Kagyu Master, amazing being. Nyingmas used to have quite a few wonderful beings, and now they don't have any real famous ones anymore. Like the same level of beings as ones they were before. Don't have Nyingmas, We Kagyus still have. We have these great beings, That's quite amazing. among all beings. 16 Karmapa really was the supreme that time. Yeah, nobody was like 16 Karmapa. Nobody. He was that great, Some of you know Nyungne Rinpoche, right? One of my friend, Nyungne Rinpoche grew up with Karmapa, 16 Karmapa, and there's so many stories, And Nyungne Rinpoche said that Dilwa Khyentse Rinpoche very often come to see Karmapa. And Nyungne Rinpoche was so amazed how devoted Dilwa Khyentse Rinpoche is to Karmapa. He would say in Tibetan, it's amazing, amazing, amazing how devoted, how much love and respect for Karmapa. And every time he come, he'll massage Karmapa's foot. And then they're joking around, massaging. And then, Nyungne Rinpoche, that's one thing that is like amazing, amazing devotion to Karmapa, like that. My guru, same thing. My guru, is a very advanced being. He will not admit that he's second to anybody except Karmapa. Karmapa, he'll like, oh, it's Karmapa, like this, Otherwise, he's like, I'm second to none. He really has that real spiritual pride. Because he was. You see, it's not like ordinary ego. No, real, He really is. Second to none. Only 16 Karmapa. Yeah, a little little extraordinary respect. 16. Oh, 16 Karmapa. Otherwise, like that, yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Eshe, you heard what she said?
I didn't understand what she meant. So it's just that a lot of times you hear...
Eshe is confused. What is the question?
Okay. So sometimes we say like the name of like a master and then something about the foot of the master, like the prostrating. Is that what you're talking about? It's in the lineage prayer.
Huh? Read the line. Oh, Nyungne lineage prayer. Mm-hmm.
Sanjay Nyumba in the feet of Mikyo Dorje.
How does the Tibetan prayer goes? Say the word in Tibetan.
Shab. Sanjay Nyumba, Mikyo Dorje.
Oh, Shab. Oh, that just means. Yeah, Shab actually means their foot, their lower part of the body. Actually, it could also mean Shab. Shab doesn't have to be only feet. Just whatever the lower part of the body. Shab means kind of like your honor, something like that. Shab. In this case, it means something like. I don't know. You don't have a good expression of that in English, I think. You know why? Because you don't have this kind of honor Buddhist honor tradition, like Guru bowing your feet. So, if you're royal, British royal tradition, might have some words like your feet. By the way, I heard the so-called foot and feet that we have is a British Emperor Henry VIII's foot measurement. Did you know that? Yeah, that's what I heard. You know, we have this foot and 12-inch foot. That was Henry VIII's foot. He said, need some kind of measurement. He said, take my feet. Really, I heard. I think it's true. And that's a 12-inch. And then became a dozen. The idea of dozen all come from that. This just means kind of like in their kind of like saying your divine presence, your divine feet, presence of your divine feet, something like that. That's what just all it means. No, it doesn't mean Michu Dorjin Sangye Nyamba's foot. Sangye Nyamba's foot, it just means from our point of view, not from their point of view, guru disciple, no. It just means we are saying Sangye Nyamba, Michu Dorje, you know, I bow to your feet. That's what we're saying. Yeah. Sangye Nyamba's 8 Karmapas guru, you know. Okay, we stop here.